So, good afternoon, friends. Now, as we are discussing the various tests about mission batch, then this will be the test that I will be discussing. Test number 03. 10 questions today we will cover. Okay. So, with respect to general orientation of sociology and geography, I just wanted to highlight one thing, the basic approach that is required for both the papers. Okay, so the one thing is that for see, just a minute, for geography we will first discuss. Okay, geography में out of 250 marks you will get questions of around 120 marks. So this is the most important topic of your GS1. ठीक है, even more than history, they are giving importance to the geography. So please do not neglect this part. This is very high yielding area. ठीक है, when it comes to GS paper 1. Okay, and then in geography, what are the specific areas that are required to be focused? So one thing is that you should have good presentation for geography answers. ठीक है, presentations में क्या क्या आता है? First thing is your mapping. ठीक है, if you are able to draw at least 3-4 maps wherever they are required and essential, it will help you a lot. ठीक है, it will increase your marks by at least 7 to 8 marks above average. The second thing is general approach to the geography is that first is to define the term that is given in a question, be it El Nino, easterlies, westerlies, or jet stream, anything. Okay, so define it. Then tell the causes or reasons if they have asked, especially why that particular phenomenon is happening. Okay, that is the second focus. And thirdly, what are its implications? That is very important. Implications with respect to Indian monsoon, implication with respect to any other thing like agriculture, like human geography, and etc. Okay, so these are the very important things that you need to focus. Okay, so that is the one thing with respect to geography. And then in geography, dimensions also are important. Dimensions. So even though the question belongs to the physical geography, you can add the dimensions of, let's say, economic geography, or let's say human geography. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so adding these dimensions in geography will give you additional extra marks. In my consecutive attempts, I have secured very good marks in GS paper 1. Okay, and this is because of this strategy. Okay, so the simple strategy I followed. Next thing I wanted to emphasize here is that with respect to society. Okay, with respect to society. With respect to society, what is the most important thing is that you should understand society first. Okay, understand it. Okay, understanding. That is the first important thing. Second important thing is to use vocabulary associated with society. Vocabulary. Okay, that means like various vocabulary like acculturization. Then your kinship. These are the things that are related with society or family as an institution. Family as an institution, how it impacts various things. Then there is a term called as Sanskritization. Okay. So these are the things that you have to emphasize. And if you read NCERT of society, you will get such an ample amount of keyword. Okay. Then there is a integration, assimilation. These are the basic social things that you need to be aware about. Okay. So society, one thing is your understanding, second thing is your vocabulary, third thing is your dimensions. So whenever there is question on any specific vulnerable section, for example, women, or maybe any question, you have to include dimensions from various perspectives. For example, issues of women in India may not be the single issues. Issues for maybe urban women different from rural women, that is one thing. Issues of maybe higher class women may be different from lower class women. Issues of higher caste women may be different from lower caste women. Okay. Issues of women in agriculture may be different from issues of women in service sector. So all these dimensions are very important that you need to write while writing answers of society. Okay, so that is the thing. Now we will discuss actual questions. Okay, so let us start with question number 1. Okay, so what is question number 1? They are asking what are the western disturbances and how do they influence India's weather. Okay, the question is very straightforward. What are western disturbances? Okay, and they are asking how they influence the India's weather system. Okay, now if you read only NCERT, now you will get the answer of this question. Okay, nothing beyond NCERT is asked. Okay, so these are extratropical storms. Extratropical. If you think of their origin lies in the area of let's say West Asia. Okay, so you can show that this is the region in which, for example, here is Saudi Arabia वगैरह ये दिखा सकते हैं. Mediterranean region. Here is a Mediterranean region. You can show Mediterranean region. Okay, so their origin lies here, and from here they travel to the India's continental path. Okay, here is Sri Lanka. Okay, that diagrammatic representation you can show. Okay. Okay, so by just having this type of little bit diagram, you can show the origin of western disturbances. Origin. Okay, so that is the thing. Then you can also show that it is like upper atmospheric phenomenon. Okay, so it is mainly associated with the upper atmosphere, not the lower atmosphere, not the atmosphere that we see in near around the land. Okay, so it is upper atmospheric in nature. So that also you can point out. Okay, so that you can show. Then westerly directly influence that. Okay, westerlies. So how they come to India? Because of westerlies. Okay, westerlies are the winds which travel from west side to east side. Okay, so they bring that kind of western disturbances to the Indian subcontinent. And what are the impacts of this? Like you might be aware that the rainfall in the Punjab Haryana region is because of these westerlies many a times. Okay. Then you might be aware that Rabi crops that are grown there, like wheat, etc. These are crops which get rainfall during this time, and these are very beneficial in that context. Okay. Another thing associated with the western disturbances, you can say that the basic requirements, for example, cloudy sky is also required when it comes to the western disturbances. Then if night temperature is higher, then it is high probability that western disturbances may result into rainfall. So these conditions also you can mention while writing your answer with respect to this question. Okay. And lastly, like you can mention western disturbances when they collide with the Himalayan part, then that results into the like rainfall, or that results into precipitation. Okay, so that kind of thing also you can mention. Okay, so that is with respect to western disturbances. But many times it has also resulted into some kind of negative repercussions as well in the northern side. So those also you can mention, like untimely rain is not good for many crops that are grown. Okay, so that also you can mention, and you can conclude that answer. Okay, so that was a very factual question based upon NCERT. Okay, if we have read NCERT, there will not be any problem in a way to address that question. Okay, so that is about western disturbances. Okay, next question we can discuss is question number 2. So it is, which are the main factors that affect ocean relief? Okay, then explain the major features of ocean relief. Okay, so which are the factors which are affecting the ocean relief? Now you know that there are basic factors like plate tectonics. Plate tectonics. Okay, that is one factor. Second factor you can think is like earthquake. Third factor you can think is like volcanism. ठीक आहे. त्यानंतर फोर्थ फॅक्टर मध्ये तुम्ही सांगू शकता की देर आर डायनेमिक फोर्सेस. ठीक आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल ओशनिक स्प्रेड थिअरी. ओशनिक स्प्रेड. ओके, सो दॅट इज गिवन इन युअर एनसीआरटी इटसेल्फ. अजून त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला जर ऍडिशन करायचं असेल तर डायनेमिक फोर्सेस. ठीक आहे, लाईक ओशनिक करंट्स ऑल्सो इम्पॅक्ट्स. ओशनिक करंट्स. ओके, रिलीफ फीचर मध्ये मग त्याच्यामध्ये ओशनिक करंट कॅन ऍक्ट ऍज अ डिपॉझिशनल एजंट ऑर समटाइम्स इरोजनल एजंट. ओके, किंवा इरोजनल. ओके, सो दीज आर द टू थिंग्स दॅट यू कॅन डेफिनेटली मेन्शन. आता फॅक्टर्स कोणकोणते असतात ते आपण बघूया की ओशनिक मध्ये कोणकोणत्या गोष्टी महत्वाच्या आहेत. पहिलं तर तुम्हाला माहिती इट्स अ कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ. ठीक आहे, कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ. सो शेल्फचं तुम्हाला माहिती आहे इट्स लाईक व्हेरी नॅरोली स्लोप. ठीक आहे, समटाइम्स इट मे बी अराउंड लाईक 80 किलोमीटर, समटाइम्स it may be 80 kilometer in countries like Chile, etc. Or sometimes it may be thousands of kilometers, like around 2000 kilometer near Siberia, which is a part of northern Russia. Okay, so these variations also you can mention. Okay, you can draw a diagram of showing all the 3-4 components together. That is continental shelf, continental slope, continental rise, and then continental deeps or basins that are there on the ocean floor, or maybe continental trenches, oceanic trenches that are there. Okay, so that is also you can mention. So initially this shelf, then you can talk about slope. When you talk about slope is like this kind of phenomenon. Okay, second is continental slope. So it's a steep slope that you are seeing. So after this, there will be steep slope, and when it reaches to the baseline, it is referred as a continental rise. Okay, so continental rise will be your third thing, and then deep sea plains are also there. Like we call them as abysmal plains. So these are like flat plains that are present on the ocean floor. Ocean floor. You can talk about these planes as well. Okay, so that is there. Then regarding the basic features, if you have to talk about the continental shelf, diagram you can refer, like if you have to draw a diagram, you can just draw like this. Okay, this is continental shelf, then it becomes continental slope. Okay, here it may be trench, it may be abysmal plain. Okay, and this part initially here it is called as continental rise. So such a small diagrammatic representation you can show. Okay, so definitely you can show this continental here. Just see continental. Okay, so these things you can definitely mention. Okay, then just talking about continental shelf, it's a shallowest part of ocean. Like I said, slope is very less. Then you have somewhere it is 80 kilometers, somewhere it is like 2000 kilometers. So it varies according to the place. Okay, then continental slope is more than maybe 5 degree. Slope is more than maybe 5 degree. Okay, and it's steeper. Okay, so it's a steeper in nature, so that also you can mention. And then you can talk about how it connects the continental shelf with maybe continental basins. It's a connecting link. Okay, so that also link you can mention. Okay, so that is a basic about this continental slope. Then you have to talk about continental basins. Okay, these are like deposits in ocean, deposits of various minerals. You can find polymetallic nodules. Okay, which are very important in economical sense for for their value in industries. Okay, so you can talk about this. Okay, so after talking this, you can talk about trenches that are there present. Okay, trenches like Mariana Trench, etc. These are the trenches that are present. Okay, so lastly, and passing reference to the abysmal plain, that also you can give, and you can conclude that answer. So with respect to trenches, also you can talk about these are the sources of active volcano. Active volcano. Then maybe you can talk about their depth. It is around 3 to 5 kilometer sometimes. Okay. Mariana Trench, etc. These are trenches which are very deeper, which is present in Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean. You can give example also. Okay, while writing that answer. That is all about this second answer. Okay. And for the plane, you can talk about it is flattest part without slope. It's just a normal thing. Okay, so that you can mention. So we will move to the question number 3. And then how to conclude this answer? There is no need of writing exact conclusion to the geography answers, right? Many times question is factual. So you can just give characteristics, etc. And you can just talk about like how that is important in the present context, like continental slope. Understanding continental slope, you can mention about deep water mission that is India is engaged in, deep water mission. Okay, in a way to understand the geography of oceans and to exploit or to what you can say extract the material that is there for the use of creation of employment, etc. That is the present context that you can give. Okay, so that is about this question. Let us talk to question number 3, that is rock cycle. Question number 3. Okay, question number 3 talks about rock cycle. Okay, very simple question, NCERT based question. It is just transitions from one phase to another phase that you have to discuss in this question. Okay, so first thing is that you have to discuss is explain the term briefly, rock cycle. What do you mean by rock cycle? So you have to just mention like its transformation of one form of rock into another form of rock. Okay, igneous may transform into metamorphic, or igneous may transform into your this sedimentary. Okay, so that you can mention. Okay, so just defining it in the simple term will conclude or will give you your introduction of this question. Okay, then you can talk about the various sources about this thing, igneous rock, etc. Okay, so you can talk about these sources of these rock. So this igneous rock is considered to be primary rock. Okay, this is primary rock, and you have to just discuss. Initially, it is sourced from magma and lava. Okay, from volcanic activities, from volcanism, which is a part of your syllabus of GS1. Okay, so you can talk about this. Then you can say that how igneous rock can change into metamorphic rock by applying pressure and heat. Okay, so that you can discuss pressure and heat. Okay, then many times this when it undergoes into erosion and weathering. Okay, then it becomes the sedimentary in nature. Sedimentary in nature. After followed of various processes after its erosion and withering. Okay, so that also you can talk about. Okay, so yes, got it. So that is the thing. Then you have to just mention, like as I said, ki how igneous rock can change into other form of rocks. Okay, if it undergoes fragmentation, then chances are high that it may result into like these sedimentary rocks. Okay, and if it is applied like temperature, pressure, then it may result into metamorphism. Then just you have to show that how metamorphic rock can also undergo weathering and erosion and can result into sedimentary rock. Okay, so these can result into sedimentary rock. Again, when it undergoes the subduction process during volcanism, plate tectonics. Okay, then these may also result into creation of igneous rock again. Okay, by undergoing the process of subduction under plate tectonics. You might be aware about this diagram that is there in the NCERT. Okay, this is plate A. You can just draw like this. This is plate A. This is plate B. And this is a subduction zone. This is a subduction zone, and under which sedimentary rock also will go under transformation to the igneous rock. Okay, so that is about rock cycle. And you can just talk about the various processes, like crystallization process is there. Then, for example, if there is a faster crystallization, then your rocks are like little crystals. Then if there is slower crystallization, rocks are bigger in nature. Okay, so that also you can talk about. Okay, so then there is a metamorphism also. Okay, metamorphic process also you can talk about. Okay, last thing, like which are the forces which are playing game here in the rock cycle, that also you can definitely mention. Okay, for example, forces like plate tectonics, forces like volcanism, earthquake, etc. So these are affecting. Then your forces of rainfall, weathering, etc. is done through the rainfall. Okay, then your subduction zone you can talk about, as I have already mentioned. Okay, so that is about these forces, and you have then covered this question comprehensively. And in the conclusion part, you can just mention that these rock cycles are the very basis of existence of our soil also. So significance of that rock cycle you can just mention. Okay, because from the rock itself we are getting soil, not from the other sources. Okay, then question number 4. Question number 4 talks about what do you understand by coral bleaching, examine the reasons of coral bleaching and suggest corrective measures in this regard. Question is about coral bleaching. Okay, so they have asked is what is coral bleaching. Coral bleaching. Now, what is coral bleaching? You know, corals are the two types. Zooxanthellae algae is there, algae named as Zooxanthellae, and there is a coral polyps. So it's a combination of two things. It's a mutual association. Okay, it's a synergy of these two things, two components that is there. Okay. So what happens in coral bleaching? Due to stress because of various situations, these coral polyps leave the algae, which is Zooxanthellae, and then the color of bleached corals becomes white. Okay, after bleaching. Okay, and they become vulnerable. Like these algae also become vulnerable to the external attack, and polyps also do not get their food or do not get their nutrition from algae in case of coral bleaching, and there are chances that both will die, both will not survive. Okay, So you have to mention the reasons about this coral bleaching. Okay, so just have a look on the reasons. For example, first reason you can mention is about climate change which is happening. त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही लिहू शकता ग्लोबल वॉर्मिंग. ओके, ग्लोबल वॉर्मिंग दॅट वी आर विटनेसिंग. कोरल आर व्हेरी टेम्परेचर सेन्सिटिव्ह स्पीशीज. ठीक आहे, सो इफ देर इज अ राइज इन क्लायमेट there will be problem. Then secondly, they also require specific amount of depth. So if there is a high rise of sea level, then also it is problematic. Rise in sea level, okay. So that is also problematic. Then third, you can talk about various chemicals that we are introducing or we are released in the oceans. For example, there is a oil spill, oil disaster. Okay, so it will directly or indirectly impact coral that are there in the sea. Okay, so that is also you can talk about. Then there are other reasons as well. Okay, so for example, other reasons like increasing salinity too much. If salinity is increased, then also it is problematic for corals. Their salt tolerance is also have some of the limits. Okay, they do not tolerate salts beyond expected level. So that also you can mention. Then you can also mention like excessive sedimentation. That is also one of the cause, excessive sedimentation. So many times there is no desilting that is taking place, desilting. So if excessive silt is there, then it will directly impact formation of corals. Okay, directly impact formation of corals. Higher the sediments, higher the sedimentation of the place, lesser are the chances that corals will survive. Okay, so you can mention that as well. Okay, so that also you can add. Then with respect to this climate change, global warming, you are aware that process of ocean acidification, which is a result of combined this like global warming, climate change and rising sea level. So ocean acidification, if it is happening, then also corals will be having problem. ठीक आहे. ओशन ऍसिडिफिकेशन मध्ये काय होतं, सोडियम किंवा तुमचं नायट्रोजन ह्याचं प्रमाण जास्त वाढतं, सोडियम किंवा नायट्रोजनचं. Okay, so that also you can mention while writing your answer. Okay, so that is there. Then with respect to this, they have initially asked about reasons. Okay, then in the question they have mentioned like you have to suggest corrective measures as well. So which type of corrective measures you can say? If these are the causes of coral bleaching, so while suggesting corrective measures, you can write, for example, reversing climate change. Reversing climate change. Okay, that can be one aspect. Secondly, afforestation. Okay, that can be another aspect. Then thirdly, increasing community participation. That can be another aspect in a way to preserve the sanctity of coral beaches. Okay. For example, in the area of Lakshadweep, you can take help from tribes that are living there in a way to preserve corals. Okay. So that approach you can definitely use. Okay. Lastly, what you can say is that corals coral reefs can be managed if you implement the CRZ policy, and that is criticism on the present policy, coastal regulation zone policy, that it is favoring too much of development and it may lead to the minings in even coral areas, mining and can affect the integrity of corals living there. Okay, so these are the aspects that you can mention. You can also talk about various initiatives that can be taken. For example, we have conventions like CITES convention. ठीक है, endangered species, coral can be endangered species. So preventing trade of these endangered species, increasing their preservation ability, ठीक है, using them as an end in itself, not as a mean for our various purposes. Okay, so that also you can mention. And lastly, you have to just mention that, for example, if we have will, we can certainly correct our wrongs that we have committed towards corals. For example, you can give example about Montreal Protocol, that how it has reversed the various environmental situations that were earlier existing. So that you can talk about that as well. Okay, so that is the thing. Lastly, like many a times corals face problem because of plastic pollution. So you can just highlight that addressing plastic pollution is also important. And for addressing that plastic pollution, you need to control your tourism industry, control tourism. If there is excessive kind of tourism, it will be problematic for the survival of the corals. Okay, so that is also you can mention. So this is about that question. I think for conclusion of this question, you can just mention initiatives like mangroves for forest, mangroves for forest, which is there for forest mangrove preservation. On the same line, you can have the preservation of coral polyps and coral reefs. Okay, so that also you can mention. Next thing you can mention is like next thing we have to see is question number 5. Okay, so with respect to actually that initiative is mangroves for future. Okay, mangroves for future. Pardon me, mangroves for future. So on the same line, you can start initiative for corals, corals for future, right? Okay, you can just mention. Okay, so that is the thing. Then next next question number 5. It says that discuss the mechanism of heat budget with suitable diagram and how it impacts the temperature of Earth. Okay, how it impacts the temperature of Earth. Now, this question you will be aware that there is a diagram in NCERT itself. Okay, so initially, for example, you can show that how 100% energy is coming out of that. 47% is absorbed by your surface, and rest of the 53% is sent back. So it is in the form of various things, surface reflection. No need to mug up all the facts. You can just give overall picture that from which it is like reflected, trapped at ozone layer, etc., etc. Okay, something is like there is albedo from ice. Okay, there is also other things. For example, you have your like reflection by water, that also you can mention. Okay, no need to mug up like too much facts. Okay, it will not help. If you can remember, it is good, but if you not, don't be underconfident, because these are the things which are very factual in nature. Okay, and generally these type of questions will not be asked directly. Okay, they will ask you implications of heat budget, or maybe how heat budget is disturbed because of climate change. Such a kind of analytical question you can expect, but not the factual ones that they have asked in this test. Okay, but yeah, how it impacts, next part of the question is how it impacts temperature of the Earth. Okay, so you can talk about like it is impacting the energy that is there with respect to poles. Okay, heat budget, poles and equatorial region. So you can talk about how equatorial region receives surplus of energy and how it is then redistributed to the poles, And mechanism for that you can talk about is your ocean currents. Ocean currents is there. Okay, then various winds that are flown from pole to the equator, easterly, westerly, etc. All these things you can mention. Easterly, westerly. Okay, so these things are the important focus. Then you can also mention like yeah. So basically, this question is then how it impacts the temperature of the Earth. Okay, so basically it maintains the temperature of the Earth. Okay, it helps in maintaining temperature of the Earth, maintaining temperature, and also it helps us to survive. It helps us to sustain our living. Okay, heat budget. Otherwise, if there would have been excess of heat coming to the Earth, our survival would have become difficult. Or otherwise, if there is excessive reflection of heat or excessive loss of heat, we might be living in ice ages that we have already lived. So these kind of extremities is avoided by heat budget of the Earth. So you can mention that in the conclusion part, you can mention how heat budget of the Earth is being disturbed because of certain recent events like climate change. Okay, or maybe ozone hole depletion, etc. And it is high time that we can act on these fronts in a way to prevent climate change and its impact associated with the other issues. Okay, so that these things you can definitely write in the answer. Okay, so we can like see next question. Next question is, what are seismic waves, and give detailed account of different types of seismic waves. Very factual and very direct question. If there is a question on of such a quality in your exam, it will be lottery for you. Okay, because reading NCERT is considered to be basic part of your geography preparation. Okay, so this question is directly from NCERT. So let us discuss about these waves that are there with respect to the earthquake. Okay, so you can write like there are basically three types of waves in earthquake. First is primary, second is secondary, and third is L wave, that is your surface wave. Surface wave. Okay, so these are the three types of waves that are there in the your earthquake. Now let us talk about this primary wave. As you know, primary wave is a longitudinal. It is like a sound. Okay, compression will be there. So this type of figure you can draw. This is compression and this is expansion. Okay, so this can be figure that you can draw. So this part you can show as compression and this part you can show as expansion. And as you know, these primary waves can pass through solid, liquid as well as gas. Okay, all the stage it can pass. But with respect to secondary wave, there is limitation. It can pass only through solids. Okay, and secondary waves are what transverse in nature. Transverse. So if these waves are parallel to the direction of propagation, these are parallel. These are perpendicular. Transverse. Perpendicular. Okay, perpendicular. Okay, so if wave is traveling like this and this and this, it is traveling in a perpendicular. This is the direction in which wave is traveling. Okay, the energy is passing, and wave is traveling in perpendicular manner, like up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, up and down. So it is perpendicular. That is why it is called as transverse. So you can mention secondary wave, and you can mention limitation of that as well. Okay, so these things like fastest is the primary wave. When there is earthquake, this wave will be first reached at surface. So you can mention this also. Okay. But more destructive is your this wave, L wave or surface wave. That is more destructive. Okay, because it travels on the surface of the earth. Okay, this is your surface wave. Okay. And with respect to your secondary wave, as I have already shown, this is the diagram. Okay, so that you can just give diagrammatic representation. But yeah, with respect to these last wave, surface wave, velocity is less, but destruction is very high. Velocity less, destruction very high. So these are the basic things that you can mention. Then is there anything asked? No, I think this is the only thing that they have asked. What are seismic waves? So you can initially define what are seismic waves. These are waves which are originated after earthquake. After earthquake. Seismic. It's a release of energy. Release of energy. And maybe they can be transverse or maybe longitudinal in their nature. Okay. So you can just give that brief introduction, and then you can draw diagrams. You can show how they are traveling. You can show their destructiveness. You can show which wave is traveling faster. Okay, that is the first primary wave is traveling faster. So these are the things that you can definitely mention in this question. And in the conclusion part, there is no need to write conclusion to this question as such, because it is very factual question. But yes, you can just give that for the better analysis of these waves, we can use various instruments that are available, seismograph, etc. These are the instruments that you can use in a way to analyze these waves much better in the future. Because if we are able to analyze their nature, we will be able to prevent the harm that is caused because of this earthquake. Okay, so that part you can mention. Then next question we will discuss the various geomorphological effects caused by earthquake. Now it is also very straightforward question. Okay, very straightforward. Geomorphological effects that is caused by earthquake. Now here the word is geomorphological, right? So geomorphological means it has to be linked with the geography part and geography section of your syllabus. Okay, general points you can write, but initially at least you should not write general points like it will destroy roads, it will destroy agricultural crops, it will destroy water resources and infrastructure and bridges and all these things. Those aspects you should have to mention after maybe your fourth or fifth points. You can mention this general aspect. But initially, geomorphological feature, if they have asked about earthquake, you can talk about what is earthquake initially. So initially, definition, earthquake is a geomorphological event in which there is a release of energy, causing destruction many a times, not all the times, but many a times, if it is of higher magnitude, causing destruction. Okay, then yeah, it is like a simple definition that you can tell. While this is happening, you can talk about how there are faults and fault lines that are developed while earthquake is being generated. So these are the basic things that you can definitely mention. Okay, this is about basic definition about earthquake. But you have to discuss geomorphological effects caused because of earthquake. Then you can say like various things. For example, folding and faulting. आत्ता आपण जे म्हटलो folding, faulting of landmass ते होतं earthquake म्हणून. लिक्विफिकेशन जे असतं लिक्विफिकेशन, ठीक आहे, ते earthquake म्हणून होतं बऱ्यापैकी वेळेला. Okay, so that also you can mention. Liquefaction process, it's a very easier process. Liquefaction, I am assuming that you have read NCERT. Okay, so if you have not gone through it, please go through it. Okay, these are very basic concepts that are there. Then you can talk about, for example, folding and faulting. If it is there, it can lead to landslide events, landslides. Okay, so various landslides that can happen because of earthquake. स्लोप चेंज होऊ शकतो, स्लोप चेंज होऊ शकतो, रिव्हर्सचा कोर्स बदलू शकतो. ठीक आहे, ज्या रिव्हर्स आहेत आता फ्लो होणाऱ्या त्यांचे कोर्सेस बदलू शकतात. दीज आर द जिओमॉर्फॉलॉजिकल पॉइंट्स, रिव्हर कोर्स. ओके, देन earthquake, if it is happening, it may lead to destruction of not only property but destruction of ecology. प्रॉपर्टी तर आहेच, बट त्याच्या पलीकडे इकोलॉजी इन द सेन्स एन्व्हायरमेंट, त्याच्यामध्ये तुमचे प्लांट्स, लॉस ऑफ डायव्हर्सिटी किंवा लॉस ऑफ ॲनिमल्स, हे पण तुम्हाला लिहायला लागणार आहे, महत्वाचं आहे. आणि लॉस ऑफ युअर कॅटल्स वगैरे, ते सगळं कॅटल्स वगैरे सगळं. सो यू हॅव टू राईट ऑल दिस. ओके, सो दॅट इज द बेसिक्स अबाउट दिस. अजून काय विचारले का तुम्ही या क्वेश्चन मध्ये? बाकी तर मला काही वाटत नाही ह्याच्यामध्ये इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. आणि मग तेच बेसिक गोष्टी तुम्ही लिहू शकता. अर्थक्वेक जर झाला तर लँडस्लाइड जसा होतो तसं, मग मड फ्लो, ठीक आहे, मड फ्लो किंवा मास मुवमेंट, ह्याला पण मदत करतं ते मास मुवमेंट. ओके, सो दीज आर द बेसिक थिंग्स दॅट यू हॅव टू मेन्शन. किंवा अजून काय होतं, अर्थक्वेक जर झाला तर ॲव्हलंच पण कधी कधी होऊ शकतो. ॲव्हलंच म्हणजे बर्फ एकदम खाली कोसळणे, ॲव्हलंच. ठीक आहे, रॉक स्लाइड होऊ शकतो. ओके, so you just have to mention all these, that is there in your NCERT itself. Okay, त्यानंतर या अजून ह्याच्यामध्ये फक्त तेच की इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरचं डॅमेज, तो लास्ट पॉइंट तुम्ही लिहू शकता. डॅमेज टू द इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर, ह्युमन्स, त्याच्यामध्ये मग रोड्स, ब्रिजेस, हे जनरल पॉइंट आहेत. दीज आर द जनरल पॉइंट्स दॅट कॅन बी रिटन बाय एनीवन. ब्रिजेस पण तुम्ही लिहू शकता, ब्रिजेस बरेच इम्पॅक्ट होतात. इव्हन तुम्ही लिहू शकता डॅम्स, डॅम्स मध्ये पण बऱ्याच वेळेला इम्पॅक्ट होतात. धरणं काय काय फुटतात अर्थक्वेकमुळे. दॅट इज व्हेरी बिग डिझास्टर. ओके, दॅट ह्युमन्स कॅन एव्हर सी. ओके, सो दॅट इज बेसिक्स अबाउट दिस अर्थक्वेक. तर ह्याच्यातून लिहायचंय काय, म्हणजे सगळं हे ठीक आहे, अर्थक्वेक वगैरे आपण शिकतोय, बट यू हॅव टू अप्लाय दॅट इन ह्युमन जिओग्राफी, दॅट हाऊ दीज नॉलेज ऑफ अर्थक्वेक यू कॅन translate that into the administrative kind of dimension. So you can say that by studying these earthquake, you can have dimension of maybe creating earthquake resistance, earthquake resistant material. Okay, kiwa you can write earthquake resistance houses. So all these things are very important. ठीक है, so you have to write this. Okay, so that is the thing. Then yeah, next question बघा, question number 8. Okay, question number 8 talks about what do you understand by migration. Discuss the causes of internal and external migration in India. Okay, एकदम स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन आहे. मायग्रेशन, मायग्रेशन काय असतं हे तुम्हाला सांगायला बेसिकली लागेल इनिशियली. मायग्रेशन यू कॅन से voluntarily or involuntarily movement of people from one place to another place for either short term or long term. त्याच्यामध्ये दोन आहेत, शॉर्ट टर्म किंवा लॉंग टर्म साठी झालेली ती मुवमेंट असते. ठीक आहे, सो दॅट यू कॅन टेल. त्यानंतर मग त्याचे वेगवेगळे डायमेन्शन्स जे आहेत ते पण तुम्ही जस्ट मेन्शन करू शकता. इंटरनल मायग्रेशन असतं, एक्सटर्नल मायग्रेशन असतं, त्यानंतर इमिग्रेशन असतं, त्यानंतर नुसतं जे मायग्रेशन म्हणतो आपण ते असतं. ठीक आहे. अर्बन टू रुरल, रुरल टू अर्बन, रिव्हर्स मायग्रेशन वगैरे हे जस्ट एक बेसिक ट्रेंड तुम्ही इंट्रोडक्शन मध्ये देऊ शकता. बट डेफिनेशन इज मोर इम्पॉर्टंट. व्हॉट इज मायग्रेशन? इट्स अ व्हॉलंटरी ऑर इनव्हॉलंटरी ऍक्ट ऑफ द पीपल इन अ वे टू सेटल इन अदर रिजन फॉर बेसिकली शॉर्ट टर्म और लॉंग टर्म पर्पजेस डिपेंडिंग अपॉन देअर कॉजेस वाय दे आर मायग्रेटिंग. ठीक आहे. सो ते तुम्ही देऊ शकता. त्यानंतर डिस्कस फॅक्टर्स असं त्यांनी म्हटलंय. सो त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला बेसिकली काय द्यायचे, आपल्याला माहिती आहे मायग्रेशन म्हटलं की आपण दोन फॅक्टर्स बेसिकली कॉमन असतात कुठल्याही मायग्रेशनला. एक तर तुमचे काय म्हणू शकतो आपण पुश फॅक्टर्स असतात आणि सेकंड इज पुल फॅक्टर असतात कुठल्याही मायग्रेशनचे. मग आता इथं फक्त आपण काय करू, इकॉनॉमिक मायग्रेशन घेऊ. इकॉनॉमिक मायग्रेशनला पुश फॅक्टर काय असतो, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट असते ग्रामीण भागामध्ये किंवा बेसिक अम्युनिटीज अवेलेबल नसतात. ठीक आहे. हेल्थ इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर अवेलेबल नसतं, एज्युकेशन अवेलेबल नसतं. दॅट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द रिझन इकॉनॉमिक मायग्रेशन. किंवा जॉब ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज नसतात, जॉब ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज स्टॅग्नंट असतात, इंडस्ट्री नसते ह्याच्यामध्ये रुरल एरियाजमध्ये. ठीक आहे. सो दीज आर द बेसिक लिमिटिंग फॅक्टर्स. पुल फॅक्टर्स कुठले असतील अर्बन एरियामध्ये, का लोक येतात तर बेसिकली पहिली गोष्ट असते की एम्प्लॉयमेंट त्यांना अवेलेबल असतो. सेकंड थिंग असते की त्यांना अम्युनिटीज अवेलेबल होतात. थर्ड थिंग असते हेल्थ, एज्युकेशन, इव्हन एंटरटेनमेंट फॅसिलिटीज अर्बन एरियामध्ये चांगल्या मिळतात. ठीक आहे. एंटरटेनमेंट. त्यानंतर फोर्थ इज लाईक अनॉनिमिटी किंवा प्रायव्हसी जे म्हणतो आपण, ते पण एक सोशल रिझन असू शकतं. प्रायव्हसी किंवा अनॉनिमिटी. म्हणजे ग्रामीण भागाकडं तुम्ही बघितलं तर कास्टिझमचा इश्यू खूप जास्त असतो. कास्टिझमचा की जो तुम्हाला अर्बन एरियामध्ये आल्यावर बघायला खूप कमी प्रमाणावर मिळतो. ठीक आहे. यू कॅन मेन्शन दिस थिंग्स ऍज वेल. ठीक आहे. सो हे सगळे पुल फॅक्टर झाले. सोशल मध्ये अजून काय तुम्ही सांगू शकता? सोशल मध्ये ठीक आहे. सोशल मायग्रेशनचं बघूया आपण. मग इथं पुल आणि पुश असे टेबल्स पण तुम्ही डायरेक्ट बनवू शकता बरं का. त्याच्यामध्ये एक्झाम मध्ये डायरेक्ट यू कॅन राईट टेबल्स. सोशल मध्ये काय असतं, पुल फॅक्टर सोशल मध्ये हा असतो आत्ताचा जो सांगितला तो डिग्निफाईड लाईफ इन अर्बन एरियाज, डिग्निफाईड लाईफ. ओके. किंवा ऍटलिस्ट नो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बेस्ड अपॉन कास्ट, नो कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. हे झाले सोशल. पुश फॅक्टर मध्ये काय असतं की इकडं ज्यावेळी तुम्ही बघितलं अनटचेबिलिटी प्रॅक्टिस तुम्ही लिहू शकता ग्रामीण भागामध्ये. अनटचेबिलिटी, त्यानंतर कास्टिझम. ठीक आहे. सो या सगळ्या गोष्टी तुम्ही लिहू शकता. डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. ओके. सो हे तुम्ही सगळ्या गोष्टी लिहू शकता. आता हेच आपण पॉलिटिकल जर बघितले, पॉलिटिकल पॉलिटिकल मध्ये काय असेल तर कधी कधी पुश फॅक्टर मध्ये परसिक्युशन असतं, परसिक्युशन किंवा पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा असतो. ठीक आहे. वेंडेटा असतो. ठीक आहे. पुल मध्ये काय असेल, पुल मध्ये जनरली काही पॉलिटिकल मध्ये आपल्याला सांगता नाही येणार. बट पुल मध्ये काही लिहिलं नाही तरी चालेल आय थिंक पॉलिटिकलच्या, कारण ऑलमोस्ट काही जास्त डिफरन्स नसतो ग्रामीण आणि अर्बन एरियाज मध्ये, अर्बन सेटिंग मध्ये. ओके. सो ते तुम्ही सांगू शकता. आणि लास्टली तुमचे एन्व्हायरमेंटल फॅक्टर्स, ते पण तुम्ही सांगू शकता. एन्व्हायरमेंटल फॅक्टर्स, एन्व्हायरमेंट मध्ये नॅचरल डिझास्टर आलं, काही लँडस्लाइड आला, काही झालं, किंवा अजून तुम्हाला सांगू शकता क्लायमेट चेंज झाला, क्लायमेट चेंज. त्यानंतर तुमची ऍग्रिकल्चरची प्रोडक्टिव्हिटी कमी झाली, ऍग्रिकल्चर प्रोडक्टिव्हिटी कमी झाली. हे सगळ्या गोष्टी पुश फॅक्टर आहेत. ओके. आणि अर्बन एरियामध्ये येण्याचे पुल फॅक्टर हे पण असू शकतात की एस्टॅब्लिशमेंट ऑफ स्लम अलाउड केलं जातं, स्लम एस्टॅब्लिशमेंट अलाउड केलं जातं. ठीक आहे. सो ऑल दीज आर द फॅक्टर्स दॅट यू कॅन टेल इन द पुल फॅक्टर्स ऑफ एन्व्हायरमेंट. ठीक आहे. अजून त्याच्यामध्ये काय सांगता येईल का? ओके. सो आय थिंक दिस इज इनफ. दिस इज लाईक मोर देन इनफ फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन. आणि मग तुम्ही हे आता हा जर इश्यू करंट कंटेक्स्ट मध्ये बघितलं तर कोरोना व्हायरसचं जे काही झालं होतं पॅन्डेमिकच्या दरम्यान मायग्रेशन, त्याच्या कंटेक्स्ट मध्ये आलेलं आहे. सो किपिंग मायग्रेशन रजिस्ट्री इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. ठीक आहे, मायग्रेशन रजिस्ट्री पाहिजे की जेणेकरून तुम्हाला माहिती पाहिजे की कुठल्या देशातले लोक कुठं गेलेत किंवा काय वगैरे वगैरे सगळ्या गोष्टी. आता हे झालं सगळं इंटरनल मायग्रेशन ऑफ इंडियाचं. तर त्यांनी सेकंड काय विचारलंय, एक्सटर्नल मायग्रेशनचे पण आपल्याला विचारलेत रिझन. सो ते पण आपण बघूया थोडस. एक्सटर्नल मायग्रेशन का होतं इंडियामध्ये, इंडियापासून किंवा इंडियामध्ये. ठीक आहे, आता ह्याच्यात दोन डायमेन्शन, फ्रॉम इंडिया टू अब्रॉड हा एक डायमेन्शन बघू शकतो आपण, इंडिया टू अब्रॉड. ते का होतं, बेसिकली एम्प्लॉयमेंट. ठीक आहे, आणि ते जर तुम्ही बघितलं तर युएस मध्ये आपला अराउंड 3 मिलियन डायस्पोरा आहे, किंवा तुमच्या वेस्ट एशियामध्ये आपला अराउंड 8 मिलियन डायस्पोरा आहे. सो इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ these job opportunities, as well as you can say that people who are there coming from Kerala to maybe West Asia, countries like Qatar, highly income earning countries. ठीक है, they are earning too much in these countries, so they are getting there. Then there is also requirement about the health professional in these countries. That is also one of the reason. Health professionals. And then you can talk about like external चे अजून काय म्हणू शकतो आपण. हा म्हणजे तेच की बेसिक अगेन एज्युकेशन वगैरे जे काही मिळतं वेस्टर्न सोसायटीमध्ये. सो वेस्टर्न एज्युकेशन तो एक इम्पॅक्ट आहे मायग्रेशन. म्हणजे जे आपले युएस मध्ये वगैरे लोक जातात, ठीक आहे, किंवा सत्यानडेला असेल, किंवा तुमचे आपल्या सुंदर पिचई असतील, हे सगळ्यांचे लोकांचे एक्झाम्पल लिहू शकता तुम्ही. ओके, सो दॅट इज अबाउट एक्सटर्नल मायग्रेशन. अजून काय विचारतोय का क्वेश्चन, इंटरनल आणि एक्सटर्नल? ठीक आहे, तेवढंच विचारलंय कॉजेस. फक्त तुम्ही ते ह्याच्यामध्ये सांगू शकता. इव्हन आपल्या डायस्पोराची पण रजिस्ट्री नाही आपल्याकडे व्यवस्थित, सो ती पण असणं इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. इन केस ऑफ इमर्जन्सी यू कॅन डायरेक्टली ऍक्सेस दॅट रजिस्ट्री अँड यू कॅन हॅव information that where our diaspora is located and how to evacuate them in situation of emergency. ठीक आहे, सो ते पण तुम्ही त्याच्यामध्ये सांगू शकता. त्यानंतर या क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 बघा. क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 सांगतो की इंडियाज डायव्हर्सिटी इज अ ह्यूज कॅपिटल, डू यू अग्री अँड सबस्टॅन्शिएट. व्हेरी सिम्पल अँड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन. ठीक आहे, व्हेरी सिम्पल अँड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन. सो त्याच्यामध्ये आपण काय म्हटलंय त्यांनी, इंडियाज डायव्हर्सिटी इज अ ह्यूज कॅपिटल, डू यू अग्री. इंडियाज डायव्हर्सिटी, सो पहिल्यांदाच तुम्हाला सांगायला लागेल डायव्हर्सिटी ऑफ इंडिया. डायव्हर्सिटी त्याच्यामध्ये काय काय सांगताल तुम्ही, बेसिकली कुठल्या प्रकारची डायव्हर्सिटी आपल्यात. लिंग्विस्टिक डायव्हर्सिटी आहे, ठीक आहे, लिंग्विस्टिक आहे, लिंग्विस्टिक. सेकंड थिंग आहे ती रिलिजनची डायव्हर्सिटी आहे. थर्ड थिंग आहे तुमची एथनिक डायव्हर्सिटी आहे, एथनिक वेगवेगळे एथनिसिटीज पण आहेत. फोर्थ थिंग आहे तुमची रेशियल डायव्हर्सिटी आहे, ठीक आहे. फिफ्थ थिंग आहे तुमची कल्चरल डायव्हर्सिटी आहे. अर्बन रुरल कल्चर वर्सेस बाकी पण कल्चरल डायव्हर्सिटीमध्ये हिस्टॉरिक डायव्हर्सिटी म्हणू शकता तुम्ही. हिस्टॉरिक त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला वेगवेगळे हिस्टॉरिकल टेम्पल्स आहेत, मॉस्क आहेत, वगैरे वगैरे सगळ्या गोष्टी. ठीक आहे, त्यानंतर अजून काय लिहू शकता तुम्ही, फूड डायव्हर्सिटी आहे आपल्यामध्ये अजून. ठीक आहे, फूड डायव्हर्सिटी, क्युझिन त्यालाच आपण म्हणतो क्युझिन. किंवा कल्चरल डायव्हर्सिटी मध्ये अजून बऱ्याच गोष्टी तुम्ही लिहू शकता की म्युझिक आहे, डान्स आहे. ठीक आहे, ह्याची बरीचशी डायव्हर्सिटी आपल्याला माहिती आहे. कल्चरल डान्सिंग मध्ये आपले क्लासिकल डान्स आहेत, 8 क्लासिकल डान्स वगैरे, ते सगळं लिहू शकता. ट्रायबल डायव्हर्सिटी वर तुम्ही बोलू शकता. ठीक आहे, ट्रायबल डायव्हर्सिटी आहे. ओके, सो ते तुम्ही लिहू शकता. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स दॅट यू हॅव टू मेन्शन, दीज आर द डायमेन्शन्स दॅट यू हॅव टू राईट. ओके, सो आता बघूया आपण. हा, ह्याच्यामध्ये मेन तुम्हाला सांगता येईल. हा जर क्वेश्चन सोसायटीमध्ये असता तर आपण हे लिहिलं असतं पहिल्यांदा. ठीक आहे, सोसायटी मधला क्वेश्चन असतात तर. ओके, दिस क्वेश्चन इफ इट इज आस्क्ड इन जिओग्राफी then you have to talk about geographical aspect. Okay, these are the social aspect. If question is about society, these are the first aspect that you have to write. But in terms of geography, what is India's diversity? So इंडियाचा ॲग्रोक्लायमॅटिक जर झोन बघितला, ॲग्रोक्लायमॅटिक झोन त्याच्यामध्ये डायव्हर्स आहे. ठीक आहे, राईट फ्रॉम युअर टेम्परेट टू ट्रॉपिकल टू माउंटेन टू अगेन युअर डेझर्ट, सगळ्याच प्रकारचं आपल्याकडे हे बघायला मिळतं. ठीक आहे, सो ते तुम्ही सांगू शकता जिओग्राफीमध्ये ऍग्रिकल्चर. ओके, दॅट इज वन थिंग. सेकंड थिंग, अजून सॉइल डायव्हर्सिटी आहे. सॉइल डायव्हर्सिटी तुम्ही सांगू शकता जिओग्राफीमध्ये. फॉर एक्झाम्पल तुम्हाला माहिती आहे पीटी सॉइल आहे आपल्याकडे, ॲल्युव्हियल सॉइल आहे आपल्याकडे, ॲल्युव्हियल आहे. त्यानंतर अजून ब्लॅक सॉइल आहे आपल्याकडे. ठीक आहे, सगळ्या प्रकारचे सॉइल आपल्याकडे आहेत. फ्लोरा फाउना ची डायव्हर्सिटी सांगू शकता जिओग्राफीमध्ये जर क्वेश्चन आला तर. फ्लोरा फाउना, फ्लोरामध्ये आपल्याकडे डेसिडियस सगळ्याच पद्धतीचे आहेत. डेसिडियस, वेटेवर्रीन, हे तुम्ही सांगून त्याचे एक्झाम्पल पण देऊ शकता. ठीक आहे, इबोनी, मोगनी वगैरे वगैरे एक्झाम्पल पण तुम्ही देऊ शकता त्याचे. नेक्स्ट बघूया आपण. तुम्हाला विचारलं तर त्याच्यामध्ये काय सांगता येईल, फाउना. ठीक आहे, मग त्याच्यामध्ये वेगवेगळी सांगू शकता. आणि ही कशी कॅपिटल आहे ते पण तुम्हाला सांगायचंय, हाऊ इट इज कॅपिटल. तर प्रत्येक आता सोसायटीमध्ये हाच क्वेश्चन आला तर तुम्ही काय म्हणणार की बाबा डायव्हर्सिटी असल्यामुळं युनिटी इन डायव्हर्सिटीचं मॉडेल आहे आपलं, युनिटी इन डायव्हर्सिटी. ठीक आहे, टॉलरन्स आपला वाढतो जर इतकी डायव्हर्सिटी असेल तर. इंडिया हॅज सस्टेन्ड सक्सेसफुल ॲज अ नेशन, की जे आपल्या बऱ्याच लोकांनी डाऊट केलं होतं, वी विल बी सक्सेसफुल नेशन ऑर नॉट, बट वी हॅव सक्सिडेड. त्यानंतर ऍड्रेसिंग इश्यूज, डायव्हर्सिटीचे जे इश्यूज असतात, रिजनलिझम वगैरे वगैरे, ते पण ऍड्रेस करण्यासाठी डायव्हर्सिटीचाच वापर करता येऊ शकतो. ठीक आहे, कारण डायव्हर्सिटी इट सेल्फ गिव्स दी व्हॅल्यू ऑफ टॉलरन्स. सो ते तुम्ही त्याच्यामध्ये सांगू शकता. त्यानंतर तुमचं जर जिओग्राफी मधला सिग्निफिकन्स किंवा कॅपिटल, हाऊ इट इज कॅपिटल ते सांगायचं असेल तर यू कॅन से की जिओग्राफीच्या इतक्या जास्त व्हरायटीज आहेत. फॉर एक्झाम्पल आता जिओग्राफीमध्ये ॲग्रोक्लायमॅटिक झोन इतके जास्त आहेत, तर त्याच्यामुळे तुम्ही सांगू शकता वेगवेगळ्या इंडस्ट्रीज तुम्ही एस्टॅब्लिश करू शकता. ठीक आहे, हे तुम्ही डायरेक्ट टेबल फॉर्मॅटमध्ये केलं तरी चालेल, मी सांगतो नंतर कसं करायचंय. इंडस्ट्रीज त्यामध्ये लिहू शकता, शुगर इंडस्ट्री आहे तुमची, कॉटन मिल्स आहेत. ठीक आहे, किंवा वेगवेगळ्या पाहिजे त्या पद्धतीच्या इंडस्ट्रीज वगैरे यू कॅन मेन्शन. ठीक आहे, किंवा सॉइल डायव्हर्सिटी इतकी आहे तर वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीचे क्रॉपिंग पॅटर्न तुम्ही घेऊ शकताय. दॅट इज ऑल्सो ऍडेड ऍडव्हान्टेज. किंवा फ्लोरल डायव्हर्सिटी एवढी आहे तर तुम्ही वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीचे मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स असतील, मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स वगैरे ते हे करू शकता. तुमची जी फार्मास्युटिकल इंडस्ट्री आहे त्याच्यासाठी एपीआय जे लागतात, फार्मास्युटिकल इंडस्ट्री, ऍक्टिव्ह फार्मास्युटिकल इन्ग्रेडियंट्स जे लागतात ते तुम्ही ह्याच्यातनं मिळवू शकता ह्या डायव्हर्सिटी मधनं. किंवा इव्हन जे तुमचे मेडिसिनल प्रॉपर्टीज आहेत तुम्हाला लागणार आहे, एपीआय कडून मला मेडिसिन आठवतं. मेडिसिन मध्ये तुम्हाला वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी वेगवेगळे मेडिसिन्स लागतात, म्हणजे योगा, नॅचरोपॅथी, आयुर्वेदा, त्यानंतर उनानी वगैरे ह्याच्यासाठी वेगवेगळे लागणं ते तुम्ही मिळवू शकता याच्यातून. ठीक आहे, सो दॅट इज हाऊ यू कॅन अप्रोच टू दिस आन्सर. ओके, सो दॅट इज द थिंग. सो इट इज डेफिनेटली अ कॅपिटल, नो डाउट अबाउट इट. नो need to write second opinion on this. Okay, it's only you can justify that yes, diversity is there and it is useful. Okay, so that is there. Although it has created some of the problems like regionalism आहे, ethnicity आहे, culture based chauvinism काय काय ठिकाणी बघायला मिळतं आपल्याला, but still on the larger picture in a bird's eye view it is good. Okay, so that is the thing. Next last question बघा आजच्या डिस्कशनला. So, question number 10, what do you understand by communalism? Write a note on communalism in India. ठीक आहे, communalism तुम्ही काय म्हणून समजता? What is communalism? Communalism is a feeling of community together. It can be in the form of anything. Community तुमची लँग्वेजवर बेस्ड असू शकते, एथनिसिटीवर बेस्ड असू शकते, रिलीजनवर बेस्ड असू शकते, ऑर मे बी कास्टवर बेस्ड असू शकते. ठीक आहे, ह्याला सगळ्यालाच आपण कम्युनलिझम म्हणतो. बट इन इंडिया इट इज स्पेसिफिकली असोसिएटेड विथ रिलीजन. ठीक आहे, इन इंडिया. But that does not mean that communalism is not with respect to caste, language, ethnicity, etc. It is there with respect to these factors as well. Okay, so that is the thing. So now they have asked about what they have asked. Do you understand by communalism? Write a note on communalism in India. असं त्यांनी म्हटलंय. So you can give history about communalism. History start कधीपासून झालं? ब्रिटिश काळापासून. त्याच्या आधी पण होतं, बट एवढ्या लेवलला नव्हतं. ब्रिटिश काळापासून डिवाइड अँड रूल पॉलिसी लिहू शकता. डिवाइड अँड रूल. ठीक आहे, कम्युनलिझम. त्यानंतर लिमिटेड अमाऊंट ऑफ जॉब्स वेअर अवेलेबल अँड दॅट इज वाय कॉम्पिटिशन बिटवीन कम्युनिटीज. कॉम्पिटिशन बिटवीन कम्युनिटीज that has started the communalism in India. Then you can mention about existence of some organizations, and you can mention like just this point. No need to mention any organization as a communal organization. Okay, existence of various organizations, like you can just you can actually avoid to writing any name. Okay, because if you write any name explicitly and if examiner is biased towards that name, then you will be in problem. So avoid writing direct names of any organization. Okay, but you can mention organizations in majority and minority community. Okay, that you can mention. Then communalism is mainly because of politicization of religion. Okay, so use of religion as a mean to achieve political ends. Okay, these also you can write. Okay, so yeah, अजून त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही काय लिहू शकता की कम्युनलिझम इन इंडियावर नोट ज्यावेळी लिहायला लावली त्यावेळी तुम्ही यू कॅन गिव्ह इन्स्टन्सेस. फॉर एक्झाम्पल मुझफ्फरपूर रायट, मुझफ्फरनगर रायट. बाकीचे पण बरेच एक्झाम्पल आहेत. 1993 चे बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट नंतर थोडे कम्युनल राईट्स झाले होते, किंवा बरेच एक्झाम्पल आहेत तसे. यू कॅन गिव्ह ऍटलिस्ट 1 or 2 एक्झाम्पल्स, and you can say like despite having some of the good policies of government of India to build our model based upon secularism, still sometimes it becomes uncontrollable to curb the communal forces in India. Okay, why? Because of maybe less sensitization of administration. Sensitization, important is sensitization, or maybe majority of time there is politicization of police force. So that becomes very problematic. Okay, so you can just suggest the reforms that are needed. Establishment of, for example, civil service board to reduce political interference, or establishment of peace committees between various communities that are there. Then constant monitoring, intelligence gathering. Okay, intelligence, constant monitoring. ठीक है, किंवा increasing social dependence of various communities on each other. Social dependence. सोशल डिपेंडन्स वेगवेगळ्या मार्गातून तुम्ही लिहू शकता, कसं कसं होऊ शकतो. मग त्याच्यामध्ये इंटर कास्ट मॅरेजेस वगैरे हे तुम्ही देऊ शकता कम्युनलिझम, किंवा बाकी पण गोष्टींचं मेन्शन करू शकता. आणि ह्याच्यामध्ये सेलिब्रेटिंग फेस्टिवल्स टुगेदर, festivals that will enhance communal harmony rather than communal violence. Okay, so this is the thing. अजून काय विचारलंय का त्यांनी? ठीक आहे, मग एवढंच लिहा. बाकी कुठल्या ऑर्गनायझेशनची नावं, कुठले इन्सिडेन्सेस स्पेसिफिक असे लिहू नका या क्वेश्चन मध्ये. मॉडेल आन्सर मध्ये दिलंय ते जनरली अवॉइड करा लिहायचं. ठीक आहे. सो दॅट इज द मेन इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग की मे बी 2002 गुजरात ट्रायड्स वगैरे असं मॉडेल आन्सर मध्ये दिलेलं असू शकतं. सो अवॉइड रायटिंग दॅट. ओके, so that will be helpful. So I think this is all for the today's discussion. We can continue question 11 and 20, 11 to 20 in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.